of creating scenarios, of fantasizing, idealizing. Do you sort of get it? Like everyone chooses who they want to fall in love with in every relationship. You just choose, do I want to fall in love or do I not want to fall in love? If I want to fall in love, I put extra emphasis in. If I don't want to fall in love, I don't put extra emphasis in. Because if I'm always, like if I say like I'm in love with someone and I put extra emphasis and focus in, well, I'm going to highlight their positive qualities, and I'm going to see their positive qualities far more than I see their negative qualities. Just to the same. If I go into a relationship and I don't want to fall in love, well then I'm going to start noticing all those negative things, all the negative things about them. They're where I'm going to focus. No, you do this. No, you do that. No, I don't really think we agree on that. Do you sort of get it? Like, it's just a fucking choice. So everyone's running around thinking, ooh, I gotta find love. And they just realise that if they don't think that this person is who they want to be with for the rest of their life because they're that fucking attracted to them, they don't put in the effort, and then they just go, oh, I haven't found love. Yeah, it's because you never fucking put in the effort to find love. And the cunts you put in the effort to, the only reason you put it in is because they manipulated you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's how life works. If we avoid doing the work on ourselves and building our mind, we are like putty to a narcissist. Putty in the hand of a narcissist. They can sculpt and create you however they want. And the only way forward is to just fucking decide what you want in life when you go into a relationship. Okay, what is it that I want in a relationship? Okay, and then it's just, okay, what do I want in them? What are the attributes that I like? You know, what is it that I'm looking for? And then that is what we hyper focus on. And then any negative behaviours or negative traits, if they need to be addressed, they're addressed. If they don't need to be addressed, they're just ignored. Because they don't really, like, if someone fucking, let's say they chew with their mouth open, yeah, you can get pissy about it, but at the end of the day, is it that really fucking big of a deal? Like, it takes them like probably 5-10 minutes to eat, like, you know what I mean? Like, if they're clapping their cheeks and they're fucking chomping away, like, just say, oi mate, go eat outside with the other animals. And then you just say that. If you want to eat like that, outside with the animals. When you come back in, we're good again. Like, that's it. Like, you just set a boundary. Do you sort of get it? Rather than creating fights, dramas, all this, you just set boundaries. So, like, for example, we keep the same thing. Like, if you didn't like, for example, the way someone ate, let's say, then it's sort of like, it's just like you clearly say, look, this affects me and it makes me feel like this. Okay, so I'm going to do this. If you wanted to change it, no stress, but I'm going to do this. So it might just be like, hey, I don't like watching you eat with your mouth open. I'm going to go sit on the couch to eat, okay? And then I'll come back over when I'm done. You know what I mean? Like, you just separate yourself. Like, it doesn't have to be a negative thing. But then you could think of it as like, oh, I don't like this aspect of them. No, it's not going to work. No. Do you sort of get it? So, like, you just got to understand in life, it's all about willingness. Like, what do you want in life? Who do you want to be? Do you want to see trauma as being a highly negative thing that directly impacts your life and fucks your life up? Or do you want to see trauma as a thing that's sort of like scraping your knee? Like, yeah, it sucks. Yeah, on a hot day, the sweat's going to make it sting. But at the end of the day, after a while, that stinging starts to feel good. And if you rub it a bit, then it starts to feel real good. You know what I mean? You just cause yourself more pain than what they caused you. And then what that does is override your tolerance to pain. So then when you cease that pain, that artificial pain that you're causing, i.e. you feel the emotions that they make you feel, and then you amplify them 10 times, and you make yourself sit in there and feel them until you become comfortable in them. And then when you let go and you go back to how you feel normally, it is nothing in comparison to what your perspective thought it was before. Do you sort of understand? Like, that's another way we can do it. So we can look to coddle pain, or we can look to amplify pain to override our understanding of the response, of the sensory response. And that's quite a fun thing. So that's all you just got to know, is it's a choice. So you can see amplifying the pain as a negative thing, or you can see it as a positive thing. Just know this, I find it really, really fun to do that. You know what I mean? It's enjoyable to amplify pain to a certain point. At a certain point, then the body responses do become quite fun to manage, but nonetheless. So it's sort of like with emotional pain, if someone cheats on me, I make it myself, when I get low and I'm feeling low and I'm sad and all of this, I amplify it up and I make myself feel 10 times worse. So for example, like they cheated on me, like why the fuck would anyone ever want me? Why? Like, you know what I mean? Like we amplify it and we say everything negative as we can fucking go, and we drag ourselves to the fucking bottom, to the lowest point we can drag ourselves to, and we sit there, and we sit there. And once we're comfortable, we rise. Do you sort of get it? And then once we rise out of that dark hole and we're back on the ground, we realize, hey, the sun's out. There's not really much going on. What was I so worried about? What was I so upset about? What was so painful? Like someone cheated on me. Like, do you sort of get it? Like that's a show of their character. It's a show they didn't value me. Do you sort of get it? It's not that I did anything. It's not that I'm any less. It's that they're less for their behaviors and actions, because they couldn't honor their commitments and theirs. Like, do you sort of get it? It's sort of like, why give them the power and think I am less than and they are more than because they took negative action against me? When we do that, we start to ingrain these cycles of promoting negative action and creating toxic relationships, because the only way I understand how to interact and deal in a relationship is through negative behaviors and actions. Do you sort of get it? So then in every relationship I start that bullshit up, and I drag every fucking relationship down into the mud. Do you sort of get it? So an important thing to understand is that, let go to all the bullshit. Yeah, people did you wrong. Who the fuck cares? People can do you wrong in life. It's okay. You don't have to do yourself wrong. You don't have to hold on to it. Let go of it and let them hold on to it. Who the fuck cares? Move on with your life. Understand this. Whenever something is taken from you in life, you always receive more. But if you're too busy being fucking butthurt over what you fucking lost, you don't really see what you're gonna get, and then it just just passed by. Do you sort of get it? Stop focusing on all the bullshit people have done to you and look at your fucking life and work out, what do I need to do to fucking move forward and progress to where I want to be? In every moment, you recreate yourself through the actions and decisions you take. Through each thought, you reshape and restructure your mind. Do you sort of get it? So if you want to focus on everything is negative, everything is traumatic, everything is this and that, by all means, focus on that. Just know this, anything I do to you is crippling. Nothing you do to me will ever affect me. You can cut my hand off and I will smile and ask you what happened. Do you sort of get it? You put a gun to my head, I will pull the trigger for you. Because no one puts a gun to my head without pulling the fucking trigger. Do you sort of get it? Like, if you try and bitch out from pulling the trigger, like, I will fucking pull it for you and make you pull the fucking trigger. You don't put a fucking gun to my head without fucking being willing to pull the fucking trigger. Do you sort of know what I mean? Like, it's that willingness. It's that commitment. It's that fucking dedication. Like, we have to get to that point of resolve within ourselves that, you know, if you manipulate me, like, good, manipulate me, try. I won't be here. I don't give a fuck. I'm not going to stand around and wait and try and help you. Like, no. Like, do you sort of get it? Like, you can try and cut me, but, like, why would I stand here and let you cut me to try and pretend that I'm a good person? Like, pull a knife on me, I'm going to punch you in the face. Like, do you sort of get it? Maybe try and snap your neck. Maybe try and crush your esophagus. Maybe try and put your nose bone through your brain. Maybe try and dislocate your jaw and rip your jaw off. Like, I don't know. Pull a knife on me and find out. Like, it's probably going to be highly violent and highly aggressive. Do you sort of get it? Like, that's just who I am. That's how I grew up. But it doesn't mean that in every situation I need to act that way. It's only in certain situations. Do you sort of get it? Like, I don't need to treat everyone and think like that way to everyone. Like, I can allow people to, like, I can think the best of people and move through life giving people chances and, you know, being confident in my decisions and my behaviors, because I know if you try to drag me into hell, like, I'll just say, welcome home, baby. Let's do this. Like, I don't mind it. Like, I'm good. Like, I'm happy in hell. Like, to me, hell is what's happening around me. Like, this is what hell looks like to me. It's quite peaceful. It's quite calm. Why? Because no matter what you do to me, I'm not changing this fucking view just because you're trying to tell me that I should feel pain, that I should be upset, that I should feel negative. Do you sort of get it? Like, you can tell me I'm in hell, but this is what I see. Like, I don't really care. You can punch me in the face, but this is the environment my mind is in. My mind is serene. My mind is at peace. No matter the environment I get put into, my mind is at peace because I'm at peace with myself and I have accepted myself. I am not perfect. I'm not strong. You know what I mean? I have to earn strength in every action, in every moment. Do you sort of get it? Like I'm not courageous. In any moment, I can choose fear. So, because I'm not courageous, I have to be courageous in every action, so that I do not go down the inevitable path. Do you sort of get it? Like, when I accept these things, because if I say I'm strong, I'm this, I'm that, like, no, I'm not strong. That is why I train. That is why I prepare. That is why I am competent and capable in everything I do. Do you sort of get it? Like, I don't rely on my strength. I rely on competency, capability, and willingness to go further than anyone else. Like, you don't understand the depths of hell. You may have been through trauma. Like, everyone's been through trauma, but I'm just saying, like, I don't even know the depths of hell. Do you sort of get it? Like, in all of my trauma that I've been through, like, I haven't experienced true trauma. I haven't been held down and had my arm cut off. You know what I mean? I haven't been raped. Like, there's a lot of stuff that is very, very fucking bad out there that people go through. But in truth, there is no negative or positive. So like, we just got to understand the actions are not negative or positive. It's the meaning associated to it that collectively we do as a society. So for example, you know, we have our constitutions, our laws, things like that, but then also personally. So we have our personal beliefs that we share with one another. So for example, like in schooling, we learn how to integrate and sort of work with other people and socialize. Like, that's part of what schooling's about, is sort of understanding socialization and sort of developing our social ability so that we're able to integrate into society and become, you know, a productive member, so to speak. But you know what I mean? So it's sort of like if we don't learn these skills, if we don't learn how to adapt, if we don't learn how to integrate within it. So for example, if we're not able to learn from past relationships, adapt, and then reintegrate into new relationships, we won't be able to do it. Like we will only ever recreate what has only ever been known, because we don't know how to integrate. So like, for example, it's the same in a work role. So like, for example, like, let's say we're working in sales, and sort of like, we're working in the same sector, same industry, but we're working two different companies with two different processes. Like, you know, and let's say the first company I went to was really negative and had very toxic traits, very toxic and very manipulative, you know, things and all of that. And I couldn't stand it anymore, and I left it after a couple of years. And now I go to this new working environment. Well, if I'm not able to sort of learn what I didn't like in that past, you know, employment situation, so maybe it was the toxic behaviors that staff had, maybe it was, you know, the leadership and the lack of leadership and lack of accountability from leadership, all this stuff, right? Like, if I don't learn from it, I drag it into the forefront through the guise of trauma and past pain. If I realize and sort of learn, like, well, I didn't like this, I didn't like that, I didn't like this. Now I'm able to adapt to say, well, what do I need to do to move into the next place? So for example, adapting would be like, hey, I don't want to be in a toxic work environment. I want to be in a positive work environment where we're focused on, you know, succeeding and sort of doing our best and sort of, you know, getting the best result for our customers and sort of developing as a team. So, you know, now I've adapted that and I understand, well, that's what I'm looking for. So now I have a marker for any companies or businesses that I want to work in. But when I go there, well, if they do things completely different to how I did it at the old place, well, it's quite easy to say, well, we did it like this at the old place and it worked well. Do you sort of get it? Like, we're not integrating and adapting to their and learning their new processes and expanding and growing. We're sort of just saying, well, this is what worked, I'm going to do this in this new situation. So it's like going into a relationship and let's say you have abandonment wounds, and it's sort of like you go into a new relationship and then it's sort of like the abandonment wounds come with you because you don't deal with them and all of that. And it's sort of like, it's just like, well, I can't get close to you, I can't do this, I can't do that, I need to wait until this, this and this. Like, I'm bringing all this trauma because I need to do this, this and this to know who you are. I need to blah, 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 blah. Do you sort of get it? Like, because they don't do the work, they bring that trauma into the fucking relationship, and then they try and make conditional fucking structures around that trauma in the fucking relationship. Do you sort of get it? And now that relationship is just the exact same trauma from the fucking past relationship. Because you haven't adapted. You didn't learn anything. You didn't do anything. When we learn from the past relationship and we say, I don't like this, I don't like that, I don't accept this behaviour and all of this. Now we adapt it. Well, moving forward, I want to be with someone like this. You know, I want them to have these kind of traits. I want them to behave like this. I want them to treat me like this. And then we move into that relationship, and that's what we're measuring against, not the trauma. We're measuring the adaptations or the plan or the strategy or the structure that we have for moving forward to overcome the trauma, and that's what we measure the relationship against, not the trauma. Do you sort of get it? Does it make sense? Alright, well, I hope you understand this, and I hope you get it, and I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks so much. Bye.